असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Oh, may the Divine lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Oh, peace, peace, peace.
Today's chanting is Sri Ramakrishna Stotram, composed by Swami Vivekananda on Sri Ramakrishna. The little meaning of the verses goes like this. Om Ring, Thou art the truth, immutable conqueror of the gunas and adored by the gunas. Since I do not, alas, repeatedly, night and day, worship with a yearning heart thy lotus feet, which destroy delusion, therefore thou alone art my refuge, O friend of the lowly and the lost. Om Ring Ritam Tvamajalo Gunajit Gunedyaha Natandivam Sakarunam Tava Pada Padmam Mohankasham Bahukritam Navaje Yatoham Tasmat Tvameva Sharanam Mamadina Bandho Bhaktir Bhagascha Bhajanam Bhavabheda Tari Gacchantyalam Suvipulam Gamanaya Tattvam Vatrudritopi Hridaye Name Vanti Kinchit Tasmat Tvameva Sharanam Mamadina Bandho Tejastaranti Tarasa Tvaritripta Trishna Rage Krite Kritapadhe Tvai Rama Krishne Mardamridam Tava Padam Maranormi Nasham बन्धो कृत्यं करोति कलुषं कुहकान्तकारी श्नान्तं शिवं सुविमलं तव नाम नाथ यस्मादहं त्वशरणो जगदेक गम्या तस्मात् त्वमेव शरणं मम दीन बन्धो ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्म स्वरूपिणे अवतार वरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। ॐ नमः श्री भगवते रामकृष्णाय नमो नमः। ॐ नमः श्री भगवते रामकृष्णाय नमो नमः। ॐ नमः श्री भगवते रामकृष्णाय नमो नमः।
I am reading from the book Swami Yatishwarananda as we knew him. This reminiscence is by Swami Bhajanananda, a former editor of Prabuddha Bharata and a senior monk. He is also the assistant secretary of Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission Belur Math. The title is His Voice Still Rings. Revered Swami Yatishwarananda ji entered my life at a crucial period in my inner life. A few years before that event, at the age of 16, reading a remarkable book on biology had filled my mind with a profound sense of great mystery of life, and to find an answer to the question, what is life, had become the goal of my life. 6 years later, in the final year of my college life, I came across some lectures of Swami Vivekananda in which Swamiji speaks of two minds, the ancient Greek mind and the ancient Indian mind. The Greek mind sought the ultimate truth in the external world, and it is still continuing that quest. The Indian mind sought the ultimate truth in the inner world and found it in the depths of consciousness, in the shining soul. Before I read this statement of Swamiji, I had little understanding of what is consciousness. From Swamiji, I learned that consciousness forms the substratum of life, and to understand the mystery of life, I must understand the mystery of consciousness. Thus the question, what is life, gave way to the question, what is consciousness? It was at this juncture that I had the blessing of meeting Revered Yatishwaranji Maharaj. And the first instruction that I received from him was, seek your center of consciousness. It is the meeting point between the Jivatman and the Paramatman. With this instruction, I got the roadmap of spiritual life. In order to understand life, one must understand consciousness, and in order to understand consciousness, one should gain access to the center of consciousness. The technique of meditation that Swami Yatishwarananda had taught was intended to enable one to discover or awaken one's center of consciousness. This center of consciousness is the door which opens to the path to God. That is to say, it is in the depths of one's consciousness that God is to be sought. There are two reasons for giving this autobiographical note here. In the first place, a clear understanding of the distinction between the life and consciousness is necessary to have a proper understanding of spiritual life and to give a spiritual orientation to one's life. In the Upanishads, we find life, prana, and the consciousness given equal importance. But in later centuries, with the dominance of Advaita Vedanta, life came to be neglected as a product of Maya. It was Sri Ramakrishna and Swami Vivekananda who, with their emphasis on the immanent aspect of Brahman, restored the balance between life and consciousness in modern times. The second reason is to point out that after Swami Vivekananda, Swami Yatishwarananda was one of the few monks of the order who gave so much importance to consciousness in discussions on spiritual life. Spiritual life is generally identified with japa, meditation, and similar other practices. Yatishwarananda has shown that spiritual life is basically the awakening, transformation, and expansion of consciousness. Here is it.
Now a period of short meditation, short period of meditation. Good morning, friends. Tomorrow is Shivaratri, Shiva Chaturdasi, divine form that is associated with knowledge. Knowledge of our Supreme Self. And he is at par with Brahma-jnana. So Shiva represents the true spiritual knowledge. And today the topic of our discussion is Om the Supreme. We chant Om at the beginning of every mantra. Even the holy mantra given by our Guru begins with Om. Why this sound Om is so sacred, so important? Today we will try to deal with the significance of Om. Om is the sacred sound which denotes God. It is the name of the highest concept of God, of ultimate reality. It is supreme. Patanjali says in the Raja Yoga, Tasya Vachaka Pranava. The highest spiritual reality is known by Pranava or Om. Swami Vivekananda says, all this expressed sensible universe is the form behind which stands the eternal, inexpressible Sphota, the manifester, as Logos or Word. This eternal Sphota, the essential eternal material of all ideas or names, is the power through which the Lord creates the universe. Namely, the Lord first becomes conditioned as this Sphota and then evolves himself out as the yet more concrete, sensible universe. The Sphota has one word as its only possible symbol, and this is Om. Sphota is in Bible also we read, in the beginning was Word, and Word was with God, and Word was God. Here Om represents the same thing. In the scriptures, and Swamiji's explanation says the same thing, that God the Supreme and the word Om are same, identical. And here Sphota is said, Sphota is something, that power which creates. God first becomes Sphota and inexpressible. That very Sphota becomes the sound, the first created sound through which the whole universe has been created. And that is Om. Om in that way is the totality. It is the representative of Brahman. Like Brahman is the totality. This manifested universe is Brahman. The subtle universe, that is Brahman. The intelligence, that is Brahman. The cause, that is Brahman. Beyond cause, one is which is the reality which is beyond cause and effect, that is also Brahman. Brahman is the totality, and Om is that Brahman. Om represents that Brahman. Om is the name of totality. Om is constituted of 3 letters, A, U and These letters are written in English as A, U and M, but it should be A, U and These 3 letters, when combined and pronounced, it becomes Om. A and U, when combined according to Sanskrit grammar, it doesn't become Aum, it is Om. So when we say Om, it is incorrect pronunciation of Om. Though it consists of 3 letters, A, U and Ma, or A, U and M, but it is not pronounced as Om, it is pronounced as Om. Besides A, U and Om has one more part. It is called Amatra or silence. The silence after the Om has been uttered. So Om has 4 parts in fact. A, U, silence. So these 4 make Om. And these 4 represent all stages of our awareness. All stages of creation are represented in this word Om. The 4 parts of Om, 3 letters and the silence, represent the totality. How? Let us see. In our awareness, we have 3 stages. One is we are awake, Jagrat. when we perceive the gross things. Gross world, we see, we touch, we hear. There is second type of awareness when it is subtle thing we perceive. We create and we perceive, that is the state of dream. When it is very subtle, nothing is there, we cannot catch anything of the dream, it is all made up of mind, and it is a world of itself. We see, we feel, we are reacted, we act upon that. It is a total different world than what we have, the waking world. So, this second world of dream, there is the third world of awareness, and it is deep sleep. Their mind doesn't function. There the world of waking is not there. Neither the world of subtle world of dream is there. It is the subtlest awareness which is called a deep sleep state, where everything is resolved into yourself. You are very close to the reality, or you are in there are three terms for this. The first waking state is called Vishwa. The dream state of awareness is called Tejas, and dreamless sleep state is called Pragya. Three different Sanskrit words for different stages of awareness. But there is the fourth state of awareness, when one goes beyond even deep sleep and one resolves into the pure consciousness, and that is called Turiya. These four stages of awareness is represented by and the silence. The silence is called amatra. There is nothing remaining. So this corresponding with that. There is, if you see the creation, how this creation started. The first was in the microcosm, you said the waking state, I'm awake, I'm aware of the world, I sleep. In the microcosm, it's all related to me. What about the macrocosm, this universe, the whole universe of creation, manifested universe? It is called Virat. This Virat universe has got a subtler part. And what is the subtler portion of Virat of the universe? It's called Hiranyagarbha, the cosmic mind or Mahat. When this gross universe was created, before that was the cosmic mind. We call Brahma, often creator, which thought about the creation, it came up. When this great cosmic mind just thought about the creation and the creation came forth. That's what the scriptures say. And behind that cosmic mind, still subtler, is God, Ishvara. So, Virat, Hiranyagarbha and Ishvara are three different aspects of this manifested universe, the cosmic mind, and the Lord of the soul of the universe called Ishvara or God. And beyond that, beyond even the manifested or what God we can think of, the Lord of the whole universe and the mind and the universe is Shuddha Chaitanya, pure consciousness, unmanifested, unthinkable, unspeakable, that pure consciousness. From that comes Ishvara, that manifests first is the Lord. The Lord has the intelligence, and that intelligence, the thought, cosmic mind, then it thinks of creation and it creates. And when this thought comes, it is Hiranyagarbha or the cosmic mind, and the thought materializes into this concrete universe, then it's called Virat. So and silence becomes this manifested universe, the cosmic mind, the Lord, God or Ishvara, the creator, and pure consciousness that is represented by the silence that comes after the word Om is pronounced. As I said, this is like creation. The first word is like creation. Then U represents manifestation. And M represents absorption. Word is connected with thought. And thought, word and manifestation. So, like A is creation. Actually, Swami Vivekananda said, I'll read at the end, that this thought process is whole contained in the sound Om or the syllable Om. All our, whatever we can speak, we can think of. Whatever we can speak and comes from the thought. And that speech is all contained in Om. Om represents all thoughts that have been thought, that will be thought of in the world. Whole Vedas is contained in this Om. Whole science is contained in this Om. All thoughts is contained in this Om. How? Swami Vivekananda says, represents the beginning, the first word of Om. Is a very important letter. Sri Krishna says in the Gita, among all the letters I am A. A is pronounced without any modulation, without any change in our sound system. I don't change any mouth, any nasal, nothing. It's just simple, pure sound coming from the throat. Beginning word is O. All other words, sounds are modulation and manifest changes of that When you make the mouth little spout like, it becomes oo. Just I change the mouth, the very word became oo. Changes into oo. The basis of all words is From has come all other syllables, all other sounds, all other letters. The is the creator of all words. So, is the basis first word in the In Chandogya Upanishad it is said, Akara vai sarva vak. Akara, the is all speech is If all speech are contained in so great is the Now this and this Vishwa or Virat has two common things. One is both are all pervasive. Is or pervades in all other sounds that we can do. And all sounds can come from thought. So is transforms into oo, transforms into or you say and close your lips, it becomes like that. So this is all pervading, like this huge universe which is everywhere. And another similarity is they are the first born, like universe is the first manifested, gross thing, and is the first letter, first sound that is produced is Now there is thing called Pranava Upasana. People like to meditate on Om. Om has the totality of gross, subtle, causal, unmanifested. All is contained in Om. And Om can be practiced as spiritual sadhana letter by letter. There is an Akara sadhana, the meditation on Akara. One who just thinks of the origin of the words, origin of thought, meditates on is the basis of all thought, all creation becomes the basis of that comes from So what happens when one does the sadhana or the spiritual practice of Akara, of Om, just on Akara? So Akara gives material prosperity because Akara is related to the manifested concrete universe. So one who becomes adept in Akara sadhana, thinks of the universe as Akara and does all the practice for Akara, becomes adept in all prosperity. He will have lot of riches. That's what is said in the Upanishad. He will have riches. He can own many things anywhere in the world. All prosperity he will gain. That is the material benefit of Akara sadhana. And he will not have only material prosperity, he will have lots of progeny. That is also all said. Children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, the whole world there will be so many people around him, so many prosperity around that him or her, that person. That's how the Upanishad describe the importance of meditating on Akara of Om. It's a great boon, great power that comes in life. One becomes highly respected by that. The second one is Ukara. Who is the second component of Om? It corresponds with Tejas or Swapna, dream. When gross is not there, everything is subtle. One is seeing in the dream the subtle world created by himself. This Who is that one. And who is also has the common with the Tejas. What is the common? It is superior than the gross. Why superior? Why is the dream superior than the waking state? Because it is subtle. Whatever is subtle is superior than the gross. Swami Vivekananda says, muscles are gross, but what makes muscle work are superior and master of the muscles, and those are the fine nerves, which are smaller, subtler, but those are the important which make muscles work. If muscles make the limbs move, so limbs are grossest, muscles are subtler than that, you don't see, but subtlest is the nerves. Subtler than the nerves of the brain centers, where these nerves are worked upon or controlled. The more you go subtler, more it becomes superior. So who is superior to A in the O? Hiranyagarbha or cosmic mind is superior to the gross universe because it is subtler. And also because Virat merges into Hiranyagarbha at the time of dissolution. Like A merges into U when you pronounced Om. Om means A first we pronounce, then the U rolls through our mouth and it merges, the A merges into U. A is the cause, U becomes the effect. Effect is always stronger and superior. Another common is both are in the middle of three stages. U is between A and Tejas or dream state is between waking state and the deep sleep state. So they have the common. So U represents dreaming state, the cosmic mind, and the manifestation from first of the creation, then manifestation. A represented creation, U represents manifestation, the variety, different words coming from U. What happens if one does Ukara sadhana, meditates on Ukara of Om? So he gains intellectual prosperity. How intellectual prosperity? The Upanishad say he will become a common man to everyone. Everyone likes that person. He is accepted by all, liked by all, one who does Ukara sadhana. The Akara sadhaka, the one who practiced Akara, he got material prosperity, and this one got intellectual prosperity because highly learned. If you have the great name in any field, in the science, art, anything he does, he will write many books. And not only that, he will be liked by all. He will be so intelligent and so can put forth his things in such a bright way that even his rivals in intellectuality will also like the person's intelligence. The Ukara sadhaka is said to be that great who becomes adept in Ukara sadhana, is liked by one and all, and he becomes very intellectually great. And it is said, not only that person becomes great, but one who becomes perfect in Ukara sadhana, all his progeny are also learned. Like your Mandan Mishra. Not only human beings, his children were adept in Vedas, even the birds used to speak Vedanta there, Vedas and Vedanta in his house. That's how Shankara came to know this is the house of Mandan Mishra. There was no home number plate in the house. Go to Mandan Mishra, someone had said, and defeat him. If he is defeated, I will consider my defeat, said the great Mimamsaka. And he went there searching and he found parrot in the house where it is saying the Vedic mantras. So this must be Mandan Mishra. Because so much of learning, so much of Ukara sadhana, he was great. He had never been defeated in any argument. Even Shankaracharya had very hard time to defeat Mandan Mishra. It was very difficult, very learned he was. And Upanishad say, Asya kule abrahmavid na bhavati. When one is perfect in Ukara sadhana, there is no non-knower of Brahman born in his progeny. In that person's progeny, so great is the thing given to that person, one who does Ukara sadhana. So every letter of Om is so great, so powerful. What about Makara? The or Makara is the third component, equated to Pragya or the dreamless sleep when we are close to the consciousness, and also in a greater concept it is Ishvara or the Lord manifested, the Brahman, the Creator, the Supreme Lord God. That corresponds with What happens in the oo rolls and you close the lip. Sound finishes. It is the aim and culmination of all sound thought. Between a, oo and ma, that represents whole sound. All thoughts is represented in that om. There are two common things. One is like miti and apiti, these are the words given, and it is the ground of dissolution. Ishvara, where all creation is absorbed at the time of pralaya. That is Ishvara. And ma is the position when all a and oo and all sounds finish there. You have shut up. When some person says shut up, then what it does? Closes the lips. Lip closed means you shut up. Everything merges. No more sound, no more talking. Done. That is it is the ground of dissolution of everything. Ishvara is also that. He is creator and also he is where we all resolve back. He is the source and also destiny. That's how it is said. Makara sadhana, what happens? One thinks about ma. One meditates on this Makara, one meditates on the supreme dissolution. What happens? It is still higher. It makes one fit for right judgment. The material prosperity was there, the intellectual prosperity was there. Now it makes one fit for right judgment and adjust with everyone. What about resolution? What about disappearance? How does it work? In him, the person who practices this Makara sadhana, all problems disappear. You see, one may be great and very rich and famous, but may have lots of problems. May be very learned, may have problems. But if he does Makara sadhana, so all problems get resolved, disappear. He can adjust with any situation, any person is adjusted with him. So, a and ma totally makes the perfect person. When one does the sadhana of Om, he becomes the perfect person and is blessed by everything. If he wants material benefit, some people don't want material benefit, they want spiritual benefit, then what will happen? When they meditate, their meditation on the Spirit, on God, on the consciousness will become more clear and clear, and when it reaches Ma, he will finally perceive, realize the silence that comes after Ma. Om, that silence. That silence is the Brahman unmanifested. Now Om is so much described in the Vedas, so much glory of Om. The very first word of Vedas is Om. And very first verse of the Rig Veda, the oldest Veda, is Om Agni Mire Purohitam Devasya Vittijam Otaram Ratnadhatamam. Like that is the word. Om Agni Mire Purohitam. The fire in front is the Purohita in front of me, that Agni, they are worshipping Agni. The Om is the first word in Vedas. The Gayatri mantra, the most popular and powerful mantra that is chanted by millions, is very non-sectarian, and even there is no word of any religious differentiation or anything there. It's very universal mantra. That mantra also starts from Om. Om Bhuvasva Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. May I meditate on the effulgence of the Creator. May He guide my intellect. That is the prayer meaning of this beautiful universal mantra. So that mantra also starts from Om, and this mantra is found in Rig Veda. Kathopanishad says about Om. He says, Sarve Veda Yat Padam Amananti. With all Vedas sing, what they sing. All Vedas want to sing and glorify one thing. Tapapumsi sarvani chayad vadanti. By doing all the austerities, person want to get something. Vedas say, if you do austerity, you will get that. What is that? Yadi chanto brahmacharyam charanti. People wanting to have that, practice continence, self-control, brahmacharya. Tatte padam sangrahena brahmini. Yama says to Nachiketa, that thing I will tell you in brief. But all the Vedas glorify, which is the result of all the austerities, which to attain which people practice self-control, continence, control of the mind and all the senses, and they want to achieve that full soul, whole soul practice, they want to do that. I will tell that thing to you in brief. Tatte padam sangrahena pravimi om iti etat. You know, that is om. It doesn't say anything. It says that is om. For om, person can sacrifice so much. Humanity can sacrifice. The Vedas, whole Vedas glorify that. And he said, etat hi va aksharam brahma, etat he va aksharam param. This syllable is Brahman. This syllable is the supreme. That is the word of Kathopanishad. It is Param. In the Gita also it is said, I am the syllable Om. That is said in the Gita. Not only in Hinduism, Om is common in other religions also that originated in India, beyond Hinduism. Like in Jainism, Om is considered a condensed form of reference to Pancha Parameshti by their initials A-U-M. What are Pancha Parameshtis? Pancha Parameshtis are Arihant, Ashiri, Acharya, Upachaya, Muni. Great saints, very highly evolved saints. These are called Pancha Parameshti in this thing, and that also is the manifestation of Om. Om Namo Siddhanam. That is one of the great mantra of Jainism. In Buddhism, very popular mantra, as you might have heard, is Om Mani Padme Hum. Starts with Om, because Om is the name of God, highest, supreme, total, manifested or unmanifested. The Om manifests into the universe, but Om, if we want to see the subtle, unmanifested, supreme consciousness, then also it is Om. So Om Mani Padme Hum is there. New statute in Kyoto prefecture of Japan believed to be saying the start and the end of syllable Om. There are two statues on two sides of the temple in Japan, and they say one is saying another saying M. So it represents Om. So Om is pervaded in Buddhism in that way. In Sikhism, the first letter of the book Granth Sahib is Ek Omkar. There is only one Om, one Supreme God. This Omkar is Omkar they call, but it is Om. Om is the ultimate God. Ek Omkar. Iconically represented in the Sri Guru Granth Sahib is the statement of singularity in Sikhism. That is, there is one God. The phrase is a compound of the numeral 1, Ek, and Omkar, canonically understood in Sikhism to refer to absolute monotheistic unity of God. Omkar, the primal sound, created Brahma. Omkar fashioned the consciousness. From Omkar came mountains and ages. Omkar produced the Vedas. That's what is said. Now to conclude, I would like to read from Swami Vivekananda again about Om, what he said in a paragraph. Swami Vivekananda has given a very simple but interesting and instructive explanation of the three letters comprising Om, thereby bringing out the uniqueness of this great symbol. Swamiji says, the first letter, A, is the root sound, the key, pronounced without touching any part of the tongue or the palate. Represents the last sound in the series, being produced by closed lips. And the U rolls from the very root to the end of the sounding board of the mouth. Thus, Om represents the whole phenomenon of sound producing. As such, it must be the natural symbol, the matrix of all the various sounds. It denotes the whole range and possibility of all the words that can be made. This is what Swami Vivekananda said about Om. So by this discussion we now know that Om is what is there, the mountain, the Veda, the thoughts, the perceivable gross universe, the subtler universe of the mental mind, the mental creation is all nothing but Om in different stages, and even up to the causal stage or deep sleep stage, and also beyond the cause and effect, the super conscious state, that also is Om. Om is the first manifestation. Super conscious state cannot be denoted by name, by anything, but whatever of that super conscious state first we can think of, it is Om. That represents all. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, we have different forms of God, Kali, Krishna, Shiva, Gauranga, but before the name of all God is the letter Om. That means the God that we see, Krishna or Kali or Shiva or Durga, it is that Om manifested into Durga, Om manifested into Shiva, Om manifested as Krishna. They all merge in their original state, that is Om. That's why Om is the Supreme.